afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. Welcome to KerbSide Collections with me, Adam Ritchie, a podcast about physical media collectors for physical media collectors. Join me as I burrow into the psyche of this episode's avid collector, Jem, who I met through Facebook. Welcome to the show, Jem. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mate, thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing your time. Where in the world are you from?
I'm in Melbourne, Australia.
Okay, cool. Lived in Melbourne for a little bit back in the day, about 20
Oh,
years ago
cool.
now, for crying out loud. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, lived out. What direction? Yeah, lived far out east a bit. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that was
that's where
good
I
fun.
am.
Okay, Ferntree Gully, I was out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm up near Mooroolbark, so not
okay,
far.
it's nice out there. Yeah, we can jump straight into it if you like. So,
Yeah, sure.
what attracts you to collecting physical media? What got you into it?
I had an okay, like a small collection of VHSs when I was a kid, and we used to have Optus Cable, which you might remember was like the Foxtel competitor back in the day.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
used to love taping movies off cable and then being able to watch them back later. And so when we started, being able to collect movies, especially at JB back in the early 2000s, the, DVDs were just huge. And so
Hmm.
being able to have your own little collection, there wasn't any streaming or anything yet. And so if you didn't have cable, which we, usually didn't, that was sort of the way to watch things. And
Yeah.
so sort of started to build up a DVD collection, and then that, being in, interested in technology, when Blu-ray came along, that was just a huge difference. And so being
Yes.
then becoming a Blu-ray collector and then a bit of a 4K one as well.
So, was there any movie back then that got you into going, oh, I want to own a copy of this? Like, was there something that triggered you to go, I need to own this?
No, I don't
I've
think it
never
was
asked
anything.
anyone this question
No,
before.
it's a good question. I don't think there was anything specific. There's
So
definitely.
what did you love in particular as a kid growing up? I'm not sure how old you are, to be honest, so I don't want you to age yourself if you don't want
No,
to.
it's, when I was a kid, my dad got these copies of the Indiana. I think he actually had them from before I was born, but he had these copies of the Indiana Jones tapes. He got, I think Hungry Jack's had some sort of a promotion where you could,
Oh,
if you
wow.
got a meal, you could buy the tape for about $10, and he got all of them. And I loved having those, and so those are some of my favorites. I think my other favorite was, I think, how old was I? I was about maybe 8 or 9,
Hmm.
and for Christmas I picked up this package and I thought, oh, this is a tape, I can feel this. And I opened it up and it was Con Air, which is the first, and it
Ah,
was so my first MA film, which at the
yeah,
age of, and I was like, Dad, this is MA. And he's like, I know, we're going to watch it today. It's going to be good. So,
that's great.
so I remember that was like, I've still got it. It's like like a little treasure. So I guess that's probably where it started.
I was out op shopping here a few weeks back because I do
Yeah.
that every now and then, and there was a Con Air VHS there, and I was like, there was a few actual kind of gem like, pardon the pun, not referring
Yeah.
to your name, but there was a few VHS there that were like, these would be great, but I'm like, I don't want to go down this track, so I left
I
them there.
know.
Like if I start, I'm gonna just collect VHS, and I don't want to do that. And now companies are starting to release
I know,
VHS.
it's crazy. There's a new one just came out the other day for Romulus.
Yeah, and Terrifier 3 is getting a VHS as
Yeah,
well. Yeah,
it's
it's so
interesting.
yeah, it's I think it's a great sign. Just for anyone listening, we're recording this at the end of Halloween night, I think,
Mm,
2024. I think it's a great thing that
yeah.
they're doing that, like because it's just going to bring more people back to physical media and bring that nostalgia sells. I keep saying nostalgia.
I don't
To
even
me,
know how they're
it's
manufacturing
funny.
them. Have they opened up a
They must.
plant? It's crazy.
There's probably some old factory in Chernobyl or somewhere where they still make them. Like, must have been hidden somewhere. But yeah, that's a really good point too.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it would be cost a lot to set up a new one, I'd imagine.
I know. I actually
Yeah,
have a little VHS collection that I picked up recently, and I've sort of been added into it here and there.
yeah.
There was a local lady, or there was a guy I went to go pick up this collection from Marketplace, and the description is what got me. I was reading through it, and it said this guy's written this description about this elderly lady that he lived next door to, and she's it's her collection, and she's getting rid of it. And it was about the condition of them that I thought was really interesting. And so I went to go pick them up,
Hmm.
and it was 5 boxes of these tapes. So there's about
Oh, wow.
250 of these tapes, and they look like they're brand new. And he tells me the story about this elderly lady who's a huge movie fan, loves
Hmm.
action movies, and had just amassed this collection of films that she just loved. And then she's passed away, and he's getting rid of the collection for the
Wow.
family. And all of these tapes look like they're brand new. They look like they've just come straight off the shelf. And inside
Wow.
each one, she's opened them up, taken the tape out of the plastic, played it
Hmm.
once, and put it back into the plastic. So they're all essentially as close to mint really as you can get for these things that are between 20, 30, 40 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's been kept in a nice humidity-free room.
Yeah.
Did you get many of, or did you get them, or?
I bought them all.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, good choice. Yeah,
which my wife hates, which is
because they are roomy. They do take up a bit of room, obviously
yeah, they do.
VHS tapes. So yeah,
They do.
and
I have a plan to sell most of them and just keep some of the favorites.
okay, yeah. I mean, they sell pretty well now. Like I say,
Yeah.
nostalgia makes money. Yeah. So on top of all that, then do you still watch? So probably a silly question now, but do you still watch streaming? Do you have streaming
I do have
services?
streaming. I've actually just been in the middle of canceling a few of them. The price rises have gotten a bit crazy
Mm,
with some of them. And a couple of them have also, they've started changing some of the content in them as well. And so
hmm.
there's been a couple of comedies where they've changed some jokes and things like that. And I like to watch the films like they were when I first saw them. And so I
Yep.
like the idea of being able to own them and see the original version.
I think that's a very fair point. Streamers is yeah, they're kind of screwing the whole Hollywood system up, to be honest. I don't know that it's going to last forever because they keep raising prices the way they are. Something else will come in below them and undercut again, and it'll start again. So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
it's possible. I read this really this article a few years ago about how the movie companies felt about when VHS came out, and they really felt like the cat had been let out of the bag, and there was they used to have all of the control, and then suddenly with people being able to own their own films or their own copies of them, sorry, there was just they'd sort of had lost that level of control, and so when that gets upgraded to DVD and Blu-ray and 4K, but with
Yeah.
the rise of streaming, everybody's gotten rid of their discs, and the power is all back in their court. And so it's interesting that if they were to decide, we're not going to have streaming anymore, a lot of people wouldn't have those physical copies anymore. And with manufacturing being, low, especially in
Mm,
Australia, if you wanted to see a
mm.
particular film, you might not be able to get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, at all. And yeah, no, I totally, yep. Again, can't argue any of those points.
I feel a bit paranoid thinking of it. That's how I feel.
No, I think it's a pretty common thought, to be honest, because you can just see the way it's going to run. If you just look back at history, the way, cable came in as well. So everyone jumped onto cable instead of TV, and then cable got too expensive because streamers came in. But now streamers
Yeah.
are going the way cable has gone, just
Yeah.
cost wise. It's just, it gets a bit absurd. And then that's just that old business trick where you come in and undercut all your competitors
Yes.
and then raise your
Yeah.
prices once you've got the market share.
That's right.
JB did it. JB used to be cheap as hell for everything, and now
Mm.
they own everything as a part of enormous. So very common thing. So
I didn't get to
yeah.
ask you before. You asked me about a piece of media that maybe started
Mm.
all of it. Did you have one as well?
I probably did. Look, I didn't own a physical media. Look, I've got such vivid memories. Like I've always loved movies, adored movies, and I grew up pretty poor, I would say. And we didn't get even a VCR
Mm.
until I was probably 12 or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I come home from school one day and we'd had all these a pile of 10 VHS weeklies on the bench, and I was just so excited. I just
Oh yeah.
immediately on the floor watching movies. I think Caddyshack was actually one of them, to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, or even Back to School. That Rodney Dangerfield one would have been in that as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember Back to School.
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's famous for the triple Lindy, the diving move. Anyway, it was very funny. I remember my brother near dying laughing at that. But yeah, as I grew up, like I didn't own anything until because I actually got a job at a video store, and
Right.
it's still the best job I've ever had. It was just amazing. But I guess my favorite childhood movie as a kid was The Goonies, because I
Oh
remember
yeah.
one of my parents' friends they'd had a heap of movies they'd taped off TV and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I just was in my own room one night and I had a TV and VCR in my own room, and I watched The Goonies every night for 2 weeks. 2 weeks in a row, I watched The Goonies, and I reckon I've seen that movie more than any other
That
movie
is,
I've ever seen.
that's a favorite as well. That's a great movie.
Yeah, it's so good. And I saw something on Instagram earlier, and I'm like, I now really do need to watch that again. So it's probably, if anything, it probably was The Goonies that would have made me go, oh, I need to start buying some of these things. The first thing I ever brought, I honestly can't remember. It would have been a James Bond DVD, I think, when they started releasing those.
Oh yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Then it's just grown out of hand from there. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you've got to obviously love movies to do it. It's the same as if you collect CDs still. You've got to love music or vinyl, I meant. I imagine.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess on that note, what in your collection are you most proud of owning? Like, what do you have boldly on display?
Well, it's the collection. I sent you a picture of the shelves before,
Hmm.
and I don't think there's none of it's. I guess the box sets are at the top, but that's mainly just because they don't fit in the shelves properly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because some of them, they make them a bit of a weird shape or a bit of a strange height, and suddenly they don't fit unless you put them sideways, and it looks a bit weird. I got the. I haven't actually opened it yet, but the Inglorious Bastards, the box set up the top there, that was from Xavier. I got that a couple months ago. That one's pretty cool.
Who distributed that? Because Arrow have got a one coming out as well.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm not sure. I'm a bit annoyed actually because I think it's about half the price as well. I got it when I was
Ah,
my wife's from the UK and we went over to visit family and I got it while I was over there.
Oh, so that's the thing. Like, yeah, if I go overseas and just come back with a suitcase full of
Yes,
4Ks.
that is exactly what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dream. Okay, Inglourious Bastards. Have you seen that on 4K? Because I hear the 4K transfer of that is not very good.
I've heard that as well. I haven't watched it yet.
No, okay.
I think I have to double check. I think what I heard was that it was made from a 2K DI, which is
Yeah.
actually more common than you'd think. Have you seen the real or fake 4K website you can check out?
No,
There's a
I have
website.
not.
I think it's just if you just Google real or fake 4K, it basically just has a list of every movie ever made on 4K, and it basically tells you whether it's actually real or not. And so it tells you whether or not it was, scanned from the negative at 4K, if it was done at 2K, and if they've just upscaled it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good resource.
I've just written that down. I'll be onto that because I'm going to be heartbroken later. I
Yeah.
can.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't, yeah, absolutely. Maybe don't check it. It's not the be all and end all. There's films like Pacific Rim that a lot of people consider to be reference quality, and that's a
Hmm.
2K upgrade, that's
Yeah.
upscaled.
Yeah.
And so it's not always going to be the best. But I do have the Inglourious Basterds, just the normal Blu-ray as well. So even if it
Yeah.
did look bad, I could always sell it, I guess. But yeah, I haven't
It's
seen it. I haven't seen a 4K yet that I thought looked bad. But I also think that I'm probably
no.
less picky than some people are.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one that I would consider bad. I've got Terminator 2 and it's still in its plastic, so it's a notoriously bad one, but I do need to check that out. Yeah, but I mean, I've put in Blu-rays that are just phenomenally clear and crisp,
Yes.
and I go, this does not need a 4K like ever
Yeah.
because it just looks amazing.
Especially if the TV or your Blu-ray player is doing some decent upscaling, it can be hard to tell.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I mean, I watched Almost Famous during the week and on 4K, and I was like, yeah, this could have been a Blu-ray. Like I
Oh.
mean, it's fine, but it's a movie you need it on 4K. So I guess in saying that, you didn't know any Glorious Bastards, but do you have any favorite labels or distributors? Like anyone that you think is always good?
Um, all the Arrow ones that I've had have been really good.
Mhm.
I'm a big horror fan and I love John Carpenter and they've done some really good ones
Nice.
of The Thing and some things like that. So
Yep, yep.
those are always really nice. They look really great. When I was over in the UK, I was so jealous because I went to the HMV there and
Hmm.
spent about $500 on random bits
Yep.
and pieces. And when you go over, they've got this. This isn't even like one of the big stores, but they had this huge 4K section, and then right next to it, they've got a huge boutique label section. So they had this huge list of there's all the 88 films. There's a whole lot of Arrow. There was a
Damn.
huge section of Criterion, and some of them are expensive, but just stuff made
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah. You got to import them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I've gotten into a lot of Arrow lately. I keep track of my stuff and but
Do you get yours
stuff that
from Railwaves or just from America?
bit of mix of both actually because some of these companies don't ship to Australia. So I just
Yeah.
discovered because I finally looked at Arrow do. So I've still got my Trick or Treat. I was hoping it would arrive this week, but
Oh
I
yeah.
got that from Real Waves.
Yeah. Okay.
But now I'm starting to order direct from Arrow because they give you some cool bonus points as well, which you basically end up getting at the free shipping with those bonus points.
Oh, that's
What's
nice.
that? All right. Yeah. And it's tracked and it's here within a week. I don't
Yeah,
have to
that's pretty
wait
good.
3 weeks. Yeah.
I always anything that I get from Amazon, I notice arrives very quickly, even if it's from overseas. Very efficient.
From Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have mixed bag. Like I go get stuff from the UK and US from Amazon and I've had some trouble with them lately. And normally they'll say an order is due on the 23rd of October, for example. And normally their stuff I get it 3 or 4 days early, but lately it's been arriving late,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
really bizarre, or not at all sometimes. No, it's not going to stop me buying from them though, because it's worth having Amazon. So no one else, just Arrow. Like,
Yeah, I don't think there's. Yeah, I don't think label wise, it's anything that I particularly lean towards. Yeah, I don't think so. How about you?
look, I'm a big Arrow fan as well, but I think for pure quality of their transfers, cost, and the selection that they bring out is Kino Lorber. I think they
Yeah.
do some of the stuff they're bringing out is just God's work, honestly. Like it's just so bringing a lot of cool 90s stuff and they're
Yeah.
doing,
Okay.
yeah, even Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison, they're bringing out on 4K and just
Oh, really?
stuff stuff that doesn't need a 4K of it. It's like awesome. Good work, guys.
Okay.
Happy with that. Yeah, stuff you can't even get on Blu-ray hardly anymore. As
Sure.
well. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I like them.
And do you get them from their website directly?
They don't deliver to Australia because they
Right,
have some
okay.
great sales. I honestly, my most common search in Amazon is Kino Lorber 4K, and I just check
Right.
that
Okay.
at least every couple of nights to see.
I
what
think
the
I think I've heard you say that before. I remember that.
Yeah. It's it's a problem. It's a real problem. Yeah. So, do you know? Just I guess on that side of it as well. What are the best transfers that you think you own? Like anything that sticks out?
I think, as I said before, I'm not as picky as some people are, but I watched, I don't, well, most years I usually watch Hocus Pocus on Halloween. It's one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorites from when I was a kid, and I've got the 4K of that. And I was
Hmm.
surprised at how good that looked today. That was the first time I've watched it off the disc,
Yeah,
and
right.
that was surprisingly good. I also like, it seems weird, but I also love that it was in 16 by 9 as well. Like we buy
Yeah.
these huge TVs, and then half the TV is black bars, which you watch it like a Scorsese film or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so it was nice actually using like just seeing it on a big screen. If I had a projector, it'd be different, but on a TV,
Yep.
it's nice. But yeah, that looked very clean. That was really good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ones that I picked up recently from HMV that I haven't opened yet, but I'm looking forward to checking them out. I think Aliens was the big one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's supposed to be pretty good, Aliens.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. So what are your what's your home media setup like? Like do you have like an OLED TV? What do you
So I've got a 75-inch Sony. I think it's an LCD TV or maybe LED
Okay.
TV from maybe about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've got a small 5.1 system. I've got
Mhm.
a baby, so I can't have it, or a toddler
Ah,
now,
yeah.
so I can't have it turned up too
Right.
loud. Yeah, but it works great.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Um, are you into special features at all? Like with your disc? Do you care if you get them?
So I used to be really, really into special features. I think when I
Mm.
was a teenager, I think that was probably one of the reasons why I started collecting as well, because you get,
Right.
the commentaries and the behind the scenes. And that was one of the things that I would tell people, when you're talking about physical media, why it's a great advantage. And then recently I was thinking about it and I realized that I haven't listened to a director's commentary in about 20 years. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, I don't think I have. Behind the scenes, you might listen to one, you might see one every now and then, but a lot of them are on YouTube as well. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I would always say that the special features were important, but
yeah,
most of the time, if I'm checking out a new movie or just checking out something that I haven't seen before, I'm going to watch the movie rather than watch the behind the scenes or something else. I'm probably just going to watch another movie because I've got that
yeah,
many now that I'd rather
yeah.
just see something new. If it's a film that I really, really like, then yeah, I want all of those special features. I want the bonus stuff. But for most films, I actually don't really care anymore.
That's pretty much in line with most people think, including myself. I'm very much the same. I think I've only
Yeah.
ever listened to one director's commentary in my life, and that was 12 Monkeys, because 12 Monkeys is my favorite film.
Oh yeah, that is a
And that
classic.
was,
Is there a
yeah,
4K of
yeah,
that one?
yeah, yeah. I had to import that many years ago. I think that's an Arrow actually. I
Yeah,
did it a
okay.
while back. Yeah.
Oh,
I made the film, as they do, they make the films much better. In saying that, though, there's a new podcast, a newish podcast by Mike Flanagan. You know Mike Flanagan?
yeah, sure do.
He's got a podcast out where he interviews a director in three parts. But what he does, he sits basically horror directors so far, and he sits them down and they do an intro episode, and the next week they actually sit and watch one of their movies and they commentate over it, the whole how it was made process.
That's great.
It's so great. This week's episode I've been listening to is Lee Winnell with the
Yep.
Invisible
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, cool.
It's such a great podcast. I don't
Check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually sit and watch the movies with them because he'll tell you when to pause and we're going to
Yeah.
start it now.
Yeah.
But I normally just am on my walks while I
No,
listen to it. Yeah, I don't need to watch it while they talk. It's really good though.
that sounds great. When I lived in the UK, we went to I think it was the Odeon Festival, the one
Oh
of the
yeah.
cinema chains over there. And my brother was coming over, and I wanted to plan something special for him. And so we got tickets to this festival that a friend had keyed me into. And I don't know if I think you've seen The Raid. I think I remember hearing you talk about.
Yes.
So
Yep.
they were doing a screening of The Raid where the director was going to come and sit in the cinema.
Hmm.
And they played the film, and they just turned the volume down a little bit lower, and he just sat in the front row with a microphone and just talked. And he just talked the whole
That's
film,
awesome.
and he just told stories, and he showed mistakes. He's like, "Hey, look for this. This is wrong." Just made everyone it was funny. It was it was fresh, and that was a really fun director's commentary. I wish I recorded it actually.
Yeah, that would be
But yeah,
great.
that was a good fun night.
Yeah, I kind of dream of, well, not dream of, but it'd be just great to go to one of those screenings. Because I've got a few mates in New York, and they go to those screenings where the directors and this cast turn up and just
Yeah.
have a chit chat or Q&A before or after, and it's just yeah, that'd be great. We are getting an IMAX on the Gold Coast by the end of this year, so they might
Oh,
start
that's
doing that
awesome.
here.
The
Yeah,
Melbourne one's fantastic.
yeah. I've got mates up here who fly down to Melbourne to watch IMAX. Like one guy, I actually met him in the JB Hi-Fi in the 4K section. And he flew down four times, I think, to watch.
Oh,
Might have been Oppenheimer.
I was about to say probably Oppenheimer. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was sold out for months.
yeah, right.
I think the Melbourne one might be the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere or
I think
close
it
to.
is. I think it's even the biggest in the world.
Really?
I think, yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen all of Nolan's films there since Dark Knight.
I want to know what the big attraction to it is because it's like to me. Look, people. I'll give you a reason why. When June 2 was coming out on 4K, people were whinging. It's not getting the IMAX ratio. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, all you're going to see is a bit more sky and a bit more sand. What big? What? Who cares?
Sure.
You're not missing anything. So I really want to know what IMAX is going to do to blow me away.
Sure.
But
I think it depends on what the film is going to be like. It depends on how they've composed for it. I think someone like Christopher Nolan is going to be. I mean, so would Villeneuve would also do this, but they're gonna shoot it to be able to take advantage of that aspect ratio.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Nolan's films have over time had more and more IMAX footage inserted into them. I think Dunkirk felt like it was almost entirely IMAX footage, but it's kind of it's one of those things that's hard to explain until you see it. But from a good portion of the cinema, the screen is basically as wide as your vision is and as tall as your vision is. Okay. And until you see that, it's kind of hard to put into words. It's pretty confronting. When we saw The Dark Knight, like no one, because I used to go to the IMAX when I was a kid. My dad would take us once every couple of years and we'd go see, they'd play like a documentary or something. Mm-hmm. And the cinema was always empty because no one cared about the IMAX back then. The tickets were cheap and it was just like a thing that they would do with like school trips and things like that. Okay. And when they announced that Nolan was going to be filming in it, it created a lot of buzz. And the opening shot of the film, when you see the Chicago city skyline, there was an audible gasp in the cinema with people just in shock and confronted by like what the image was like. Because it's not only huge, the resolution is unbelievable. The medium format film blown up in that size is just, it's unreal. And so it's you've never seen anything like it.
I'm keen. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be converted. I'm sure my skepticism will fade away pretty quickly, and I'll be a quick convert. Yeah. The first movie we're getting up here is Mufasa. It would have been played by the time this episode airs. But I know Jordan Peele's also doing a lot of IMAX, and he's got a new film coming out in 18 months or so as well. So.
Does he really?
Yeah. He's got one in 2026. There's quite a few big names coming in 2026, actually. Yeah, June Messiah apparently then as well. Yeah, be nice if Mickey 17 got an IMAX release. Anyway, I'm straying. I'm digressing. How do you organise your? I know you've sent me a pic of your shelves or some of your shelves. How do you organise yours? Is it just purely alphabetical, or is there any special way that you do it?
So part of it is alphabetical because I love my horror. I've got a horror section specifically, and so the top left hand side is all horror. There's probably about 200 or so, not heaps, but a good little amount. And then opposite that, it's got comic book films and Disney. I've got a few sort of obscure Disney ones from when they sort of released them once and then not again. Yeah. And then directly underneath that, it's basically from left to right, top to bottom, or from about maybe the seventh row down. It's just alphabetical, basically.
Okay.
And so, but it crosses both shelves. So there's the two shelves, which are about 3 each. So there's 6 across. And so from 6 to about, from to the floor, it's just A to Z. And that's probably about maybe 800 or 900 of them.
Wow. So you've got a good collection.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It kind of got out of control. Like it started small, and then suddenly you're like, what's going on with that?
Made it 2.5 years ago. I had 330 when I first catalogued mine.
You're up to 1,500 now, aren't you?
It's close to 17 now.
Wow.
Yeah. It's but I've slowed down. The last month has been nice. I have slowed down, which is good. I just got to. Anything you regret buying?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, if this new Inglourious Bastard set is good, I'll regret it.
It could be for any reason. Like it could be because you maybe brought it blind, you hadn't seen it.
Oh yeah, you know what? I bought I still am, but I used to be a really big David Fincher fan. I bought the 10-year anniversary Fight Club Blu-ray disc, which is great. And 5 years later, they released the 15-year anniversary Fight Club edition. I was like, oh my god, I got to get this. So I got it. It's the same disc. It's the same.
Just
thing.
a different label.
What a sucker. So
that's the best answer I've had yet. It's amazing. We're getting a 4K of that too. He's working on that. Keen for 7 in January too.
Exactly.
We're getting that in Australia.
That's really good.
Yeah. That's 7 is like in my top 10 movies of all time. I still remember watching it in cinema. Just blew my socks off.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that would have been. I saw it maybe about 15 years after you did, but it still blew my socks off.
Yeah. I've seen it. Every time I've seen it like a good dozen times on one, it still gives me chills at the end.
It is good.
I'll frisbee the Blu-ray out the window happily to get a 4K of that. I'm sure it'll be great.
Sure.
Yeah. I was going to ask you something else about how you organise your collection before, but hopefully the question comes back to me a bit later.
And then the box sets are just up the top there because they don't fit. So they're a bit random. So there's like Disney is next to Nolan, which is next to Bond.
Yeah, it's very similar to the way I organise mine, to be honest. I've got all my box sets up top. But I got stuff everywhere. I have a horror section as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. What's your favourite horror film? I don't know why I was going to, because that's a tough question, right?
That is a tough one.
Because there's so many different types of genres of horror. Like there's so many sub-genres. And
Absolutely.
what's your favourite? Okay, to make it easy, what's your favourite sub-genre of horror? Like zombies, vampires, slashers? Like what's...
Yeah, I'm a big slasher fan, even though... Yeah, I love slashers. It's tricky because, there's films that are good and then there are films that you like and they're not necessarily the same thing.
No,
I think horror
absolutely.
is similar to comedy. Like, you can love comedy films and I can like comedy films and we might not like the same films. And horror is the same. And so,
yeah,
there's plenty of films that I love that I wouldn't necessarily tell anybody to go see because they're probably not good, but I enjoy them, and vice versa. Like a film like Silence of the Lambs, we're probably all going to agree is really good, but I'm probably not going to watch that very often. I might watch them every 5 or 10 years, whereas something like Halloween, I might watch every 2 years or maybe even every year, because it's just a classic. I love Halloween. Yeah. I think at the moment Halloween is up there, or maybe Jason Lives, the sixth Friday the 13th film. That's a fun one. Yeah.
Okay.
So it gets a bit crazy.
I need to get through to the Friday the 13th. So I've only seen the first 2, I think, and I just recently got a box set of that. But
yeah, okay.
I'm with you on Halloween because I'm a recent horror film convert.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, and Halloween is what really made me go, yeah, horror is the shit, actually. This is really good. And I'm a big Carpenter fan as well. So
yeah. What's your favorite Carpenter film?
Halloween. Yeah. Yeah, obviously The Thing. Everyone, like so many people have come out of the woodwork about The Thing lately.
I know.
Incredible.
No. When I was about 12 years old, I think, and it was on TV, and Dad sat me down and said, "Watch this," and I was like, "You sure?" And he goes, "Yes."
I love that.
It just, oh man, when the CPR scene, oh my God, that just terrified me. That was fantastic. But you're right. It's kind of one of those things that no one knew about, and then suddenly everyone's just come out of the woodwork talking about how it's their favorite.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I've got my movie mates that for the website I write for talked about The Thing. So I only watched The Thing for the first time a couple of years ago, and I was like, yeah, this is really good. And at the end of it, I thought this just feels like it could lead into an X-Files episode. To be honest, I want to see Mulder and Scully just turn up at this base and see what's happened here. But then watch it again, and things get better when you watch them again.
Yeah. Have you seen Big Trouble in Little China?
Mate, that's the first one of his I saw.
That might be my favorite.
And I love that movie so hard when I was little. I've seen it once as an adult, and I don't think I paid attention. I was probably on my phone too much, but that is a must-watch again soon.
It's so good. It's so
good. Yeah. I remember I love that whole vibe of the rain and the dark alley, and then this, all the exotic and those over-the-top fight scenes were just so good. I do need to watch that again.
Yep.
So you're making me nostalgic. Don't know if I don't think I did ask you this. Is there anything you're looking forward to being released? I know we just spoke about it.
Yeah, I think I forgot about Fight Club until you mentioned it. That would be a big one. I don't have I've only got about 3 or 4 of John Carpenter's films, so I'd like to get more of those.
Oh yeah.
One of the frustrating things about horror films is that the licensing or the rights are often with all different companies. And so to get them to all agree and do a box set, I love a box set. So
same.
To get them to agree to do a box set is nearly impossible sometimes. And so, I'd love a Halloween box set, although I've got most of them individually now. I think there's rumors of a Nightmare on Elm Street box set coming soon.
Okay.
So that would be
cool. Not have a Blu-ray one of that.
Yes, I've got that. Yeah. I think some of the films there's multiple films on a disc for some of them.
Yes.
It still looks okay, but it'll be cool to see them in higher quality. No, I don't think there's anything else. There's just so much coming out. Like there's just a lot at the moment.
We're starting to get very spoiled. It's a good sign. Do you have the Carpenter box set? There's 4 movies in the.
Oh no, I was waiting for it to go on sale and then it disappeared and it's been gone.
Yeah,
you can't get it anymore.
No, you can't. I've got one on Amazon, really cheap. It was like $30 or something. I don't even know if it was that much.
Yeah, I should have got it then because I think the only ones that I've seen of it are well over 100 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's good to know. I keep telling my kids, man, these things are going to appreciate in value. You need to. This is your inheritance. Anyway, maybe one day. Is there anything you want to be released on? Well, let's say on anything that hasn't got a release. I mean, that's a deep question because most things have a release.
Yeah,
you can stick to 4K if you want.
The films that I'm thinking of that I don't have are all ones that don't need 4K. Like adaptation comedies and things like that.
Yep, that one is an on-the-spot question.
Yeah, I don't know.
We could, if you think of something, we'll come
Yeah,
back
I'll
to it.
come back to it. Yeah.
Do you like old movies? Are you into like old classics and
Yeah,
stuff?
to a
'Cause-
degree. I think
yeah,
uh I don't think I've enjoyed as many films before the 70s. They kind of yeah. I
okay.
think pre-70s I'm not as interested, but there are exceptions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's probably about the only thing I've disagreed on with you so far. I love old
Yeah.
movies, but
Yeah,
I was asking you that to see if there's anything old that you thought might need a 4K.
sure.
That's okay.
Are there any
Uh,
particular decades that you like the most?
the 40s, the 70s is the duck's guts, but the 40s probably as a decade for film is pretty impressive.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's really really good.
Is there a lot
Uh,
of I feel like I haven't seen a lot of work from the 40s that's been out on Blu-ray or on 4K. Or is that just because the
Now,
films aren't as well known?
no, the ones that are on 4K are probably the bigger ones, and I'm just
Yeah.
trying to think now. Some of the ones I'm thinking of are probably more from the 50s. But, I mean, Casablanca. I mean,
Yeah.
Casablanca's great because it's all about the ending. I think Casablanca's quite average until it ends. Something like the Maltese Falcon, I
Yeah.
think that's from the 40s, is amazing.
Okay.
Double Indemnity is like the 50s, I think. I'd have to look at my letterbox, to be honest, to see what I've got in there. Actually, no, I can't. I have my spreadsheet here. I could even do that if we're going to be on the spot.
Go for it. Are you a big
Uh,
letterbox user?
yeah, yeah, I log everything that I watch pretty much, even before I finish it sometimes, because I kind of know where the film's going.
Sure.
I know and my rating's not going to change. If it does, you can edit, so that's all right.
Yeah, sure. I feel like because
Okay.
I've always been an IMDb user, and so that's my main platform. But I think you can just export your information from IMDb into a letterbox.
Oh, is
I
that
love
right?
that people do all those lists on letterbox.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
a
I
good
don't
way
think I
to
have.
find. I think the explore functionality of IMDb is not great. It often just sort of tells you about the same films over and over. Whereas Letterboxd, you're more likely to get more organic searches, and the things that people
Yeah,
recommend, I think, are probably a bit more individual to you.
it's look. I trust a letterboxed rating more than an IMDb one. Oh, I definitely don't.
Sure.
I don't pay any attention to Rotten Tomatoes because that's some
Yes.
bullshit
Yep.
system. But IMDb, if something's above 6 on IMDb, you're probably in for a really good movie.
Yeah, that's true.
With Letterboxd, you'd probably want to be around, a high threes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but because I mean, it's for cinephiles, and it's
Sure.
not at the moment. It's getting to the stage now that it's grown to a point where there's a lot of dickheads on there who just kind of wasting
Sure.
their time and putting bullshit reviews,
Yeah.
or deliberately make stuff worse than it is, which is, I don't know, just go away. This is a nice little system we've got. So the 40s, I've got The Big Sleep. Look, I'm,
Hmm.
I'm into directors more than actors, so I'll find a director and just go into this. So
Yeah.
anything
Sure.
from Howard Hawks and Billy Wilder, I love. Like, yeah, so Double Indemnity is from the 40s, actually. His Girl Friday, another Howard Hawks. You've got The Lost Weekend, Billy Wilder. It's a great movie about an alcoholic. So good. Notorious. Alfred Hitchcock is my all-time favorite. Pretty much anything from him in that era is amazing.
I think I've seen
Uh,
some of his later ones. I haven't seen any of the ones you've mentioned yet.
don't watch anything from Hitchcock past 1966, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all these earlier stuff is just off the charts. Some of his stuff is free on YouTube or even Tubi.
Oh yeah.
Notorious is on Tubi, I think, is actually about to leave. That's probably should be known as his best movie, because it is just insanely good. Treasure of the Sierra Madre is a great one. John Huston one with Humphrey Bogart. That's a great movie. I really reckon anyone would like that. But there's three guys who go up to the Mexican hills to find gold, and they're like their mates, and they combine their money to pay to get up there, and then they just all turns into a shit fight as they actually find gold and start storing it
Right.
away. It's really tense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll get you to
yeah,
send me a list after. I'm going to watch these.
yeah. Okay, we'll do. Absolutely, we'll do that. Okay, next question: where are the main places you buy your media from? I mean, we've kind of touched on some of that.
I would say that the majority of my collections probably come from Marketplace.
Is that right?
Yeah, because the way
Wow.
that I normally do it, I feel like I'll talk about it. I feel like if you talk about it, people will find out, but they know this anyway. So people are often selling their entire film collections just to get rid of them.
Yep, yep.
And so you basically just buy the whole lot and then you sell the duplicates. So that's
Hmm.
basically what I do. So you end up picking up movies for anywhere between $1 and $3 usually,
Yeah. Okay.
um, for a Blu-ray, and then you can just sort of pad out your collection. And then if there's something that you don't think you're going to like, you get rid of it. Yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
Do you
Um,
resell through Marketplace or do you eBay?
yeah,
Yeah.
usually
Okay.
Marketplace. I feel like the eBay is a bit of a hassle with the fees and other things.
Yes.
Marketplace is a bit easier. Yeah, so that's normally how I do it. And then,
Wow.
but I
I should
think
consider that.
yeah, you have to be a little bit. I feel like I'm not as selective as I should be because I've every now like if I'm going through my shelves, I'll go through And every so often I'll go through and be like, wait a second, why do I have this film? Like, I'm not going to ever watch it. I've just picked it up as part of a collection. Yeah, so I need to do a bit of a cull. I think I could probably get rid of about 50 or maybe even 100. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it normally. So just buy them in bulk and then sell the extra.
I've actually made just not a suggestion, but I don't know how to phrase this, but I've made a couple of friends through doing what I'm doing here, and we kind of have become like, say, movie pen pals, for lack of a better phrase. Like, go through their collection, they'll go, oh, I don't need this anymore, it's duplicate. They send me a bunch, and I'll send them a bunch of my duplicates or whatever as well.
Sure.
Yeah, I found that's been really cool, to be honest, because
That sounds good. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of what I've got as well, if you like. That's
Sure.
just do a swap.
Sure.
Yeah, express post on the way.
Sounds good.
Well, I know we discussed, this is how I got you on the show, because we were discussing this through Facebook. So I know you catalog your collection, so
Yes.
tell us how you do that.
So the Blu-ray.com website is a really great resource for selling, but they also have a really good app for finding deals, which the deals part isn't as good as it used to be. I don't know what changed, but a couple of years ago, they did something where you used to be able to just find hundreds and hundreds of movies really cheaply. And more recently, sometimes it just is blank. So I'm not sure what's going on with the deals part of it, but the cataloging part of it still works really well. So when you open up the My Movies app, you log in with your account, and then on the side there's a button that says My Collection, and it basically has a list of all of your films, and you can organize them however you like. You can do it by as you last scan them, or you can do them alphabetically. But the main reason why I do it is because I found that I was buying too many films that I actually had already, so it was just a duplicate, which is really frustrating. Now, if I'm going to buy something, I'll just quickly search and check it on there and see if I've already got it. I think you had a question about bulkheading them as well, that we were talking about before.
Yeah, about bulk scanning them. Yeah, I'm interested in how that works, because it's funny, because another mate reached out to me today, and he uses an app there. He scans them, and I was like, mate, the timing of this message is bananas.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually one of my movie pen pals, to be honest. Yeah, he reached out and was like, I can't remember what the app, CVC, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, same thing. You scan them in. So
yeah.
So how's the bulk scanning work?
So there's two different ways to do it. The main one is in your collections. There's a button that says Scan Barcode, and that you scan the barcode on the back of the box, and it just tells you, is it this film? And it also is regional. So if you've got a copy of Casino Royale, and it's the JB copy from Australia, it'll look just like that. So and it'll have a little Australia flag, so you know that it's that one. Or if it's from another country, it'll have that country code on it as well. So that works really well for when you're buying new movies once you've already catalogued your collection, because you're only adding one at a time. But there is an extra feature on the side, and let me just so I give you the right name for it, because it's really stupid. It's kind of hidden the way that they've put it. It's not obvious what it is. It's called My Scan History. And so when you click on My Scan History, it gives you a list of everything that you've ever scanned, basically. But down the bottom, there's a button for the barcode. And when you scan that, instead of scanning the barcode and then it's saying, hey, what's this film? Is it this one? And then you say yes or no, it just allows you to keep scanning afterwards. And so you can scan 10 in a row. And then after you've done that, you can just tap on them and it will tell you what, is this what it is? So the way that I normally recommend doing it is, I'm not going to lie to you and say, hey, this is a fun process, because it's not. If you have a big collection, it's a pain. Yeah. But the best way to do it is just to do 10 or 15 at a time. And so, you walk past your shelf, you grab a stack of them, you scan them, and then you go back to it later on. And so if you do that, every day you do a stack or two, over the course of a couple of weeks, you get through it all pretty quickly. And you get faster at it as well. So that's kind of the way to do it.
That's a free service, isn't it?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so basically, it matches it up to all the things, and every now and then it does make a mistake, and it never gives you the wrong movie, but it sometimes will just say, I can't find it, and you can either search for it manually or you can just rescan it, and usually on the second scan it works.
Okay.
Yeah.
It might convince me, but I don't know. It's a daunting thought to go through all of my shit and go scan this, but now there's different.
Once you've done it, it's done. You have to think about it again.
You're right.
So that's sort of the upside to it. But I think unless there isn't really much of a point in cataloging it, unless you have that issue that I had, which is just buying duplicates and then getting annoyed about it. Because otherwise, you probably know what you have, and if you see something, you know if you have it or not most of the time. Unless it's a problem, you don't need to catalog. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know why I started cataloging mine. I think because I'm an idiot and I like spreadsheets, and I just thought, I start cataloging my movies. And
so you just type them into Excel, do you?
Yeah, but but I also have different stats and columns and these formulas in there that make them. I'll have to send you a photo of my spreadsheet as well
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I
I'm
have
trying to work out
charts
what
as
it would
well.
look like. Yeah, send it through.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will. I'll get an email address off you or something after this if you want, or
Sure.
I don't know if I can share it any other way. I'll do that. I've got to find me questions again now. No, but it's good radio. This. So I know you've just told us how you buy through Marketplace, but if you're getting something new, do you normally wait for? Do you buy on release? Do you get a bit of FOMO, or do you wait for? How do you wait
Uh,
for sales?
that's a good question because I try really hard to not get FOMO, and I think I'm pretty good at it.
Hmm.
Like I'm pretty good
Yeah.
at not buying something without having any idea at all about what it's going to be.
Hmm.
Obviously, with every if we all knew straight away every film that's coming out, this is going to be the best definitive version of it every single time, then it would be
Yeah.
less of an issue. But we
Hmm.
don't always know that. Sometimes films come out and they don't always have the best reviews for the whether it's the scan or whether it's the DNR or whatever it is. But generally speaking, if you miss the first release, sometimes you're not going to get another chance, especially if you're a
Yeah.
steelbook fan. If you miss it, then
Hmm.
that's it, it's gone. So there's been a few steelbooks that I'm not a steelbook collector. I've probably got about 20 of them, and most of them have been by accident or because
Yeah.
the film costs $2 more when you buy it at JB or
Yeah.
whatever it is. Um, with some of them, like the Oppenheimer one looked fantastic, and I thought, you know what, I'd buy that, and you couldn't because it was gone. They just went
Ah,
gone.
you missed out.
They were very quick. Yeah.
Right.
So I guess you either pay full price. There's no such thing as a going on sale for some of those ones. Yeah, I think I'm pretty good at not buying straight away unless it's an absolute favorite. Like the Seven one I've pre-ordered just because it's such a great
Yep.
film.
You
Most
getting
of the
that from
time I'm pretty
Zavi?
good. That one I'll double check. I think it's from Amazon.
Oh. Oh,
But
you
yeah,
go Amazon US to import that stuff, do you? Or?
it depends. I'd prefer to do Zavi. I
Yeah.
sometimes find with Zami I get damaged boxes.
A lot of people say that.
When I don't have that issue with other people, so I don't know
They
why.
might kick him out the
I don't
door.
know, stack them up and kick them out. I don't
Yeah.
know, like yeah.
One of my friends,
And
I've got to tell you a weird story about Zavi. He ordered three, when Reservoir Dogs got a steelbook release, he ordered three of them because
right,
he was going to on-sell them.
right.
They sent him
Oh my God.
45 and he can't get rid of them. He sent me one recently.
Oh, send me. I'll get one from him. I don't have that.
He was like, I need to give.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I'll reach out to him.
I've got
Yeah.
my Reservoir Dogs is the one. Do you remember the Blu-ray that came out from JB that had it was the gas canister with the
No.
it's like
Okay.
it's actually the Mad Max box set that they do, that metal tin one. It's very similar to that.
Okay.
With like
I
a
didn't.
little the top. Yeah, and when you take out the disc it's like a matchbook, which is cute.
Oh, I didn't know they did that.
Oh,
That's
it's
interesting.
it's 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, when my kids were young, didn't have money back then. Wasn't collecting as much.
Yeah.
You kind of answered it, kind of half answered one of my questions. So, apart from the steelbook stuff, does packaging actually influence what you collect?
I don't think so. The
Hmm.
reality is it's going to sit on your shelf sideways and you're only going to look for the name.
Yes,
Um,
exactly. It's
yeah.
going out.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think so. I'm not really the slip covers. If they're there, they're great. If they're not, I don't mind at all.
Yep.
Something that I do care about that I didn't think I quite cared about until I started seeing when they do like a re-release of a movie and they use different art from the poster.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
for some reason that annoys me. So I'm a
Ah,
bit of a stickler for the original poster art from when it first came out. When they do some sort of a new thing, that really annoys me.
I'm thinking about The Exorcist.
Sure. Yeah. That's absolutely. So when I was in the UK, one of the ones that I bought from HMV was The Exorcist because
You
it
got
was the original cover.
yes, you
That
got
one
to
of
look at the
Reagan's face
poster.
looks terrible.
One of the worst fucking things covers I've ever
Yes.
seen.
Yes.
It's so
Absolutely.
horrendous. I actually
Yes.
offended my inside guy. I actually offended him by saying that it was the worst cover everyone was saying. He's like, that was a worldwide release. I said, it wasn't. The UK got it. And he was
Yeah. Yeah. I bought that. That was one of the first things I picked up when I walked into the shop.
yeah,
Because
nice.
that front cover is just iconic.
That under the lamp, yeah, it's a
Yeah. Yeah.
beautiful shot.
How about you? Do you care about the slips or anything like that?
I'm exactly the same as you, mate. If it has one, cool. If it doesn't, whatever. Like with my steel, I mean, I've started getting a few more steelbooks because
Oh
they
yeah.
have been cheaper, $40 compared to, and you get the Blu-ray with them rather than
Yes.
37 for
Is that a
just the
consistent thing
4K.
for all steelbooks?
Great question. I honestly don't know. I really
How
don't
do you
know.
feel about the trend of not including the Blu-ray with the 4K?
This is something I've been investigating. Personally, it's the same as special features for me. It's good to have
Mm.
and not need, the need and not have, right?
It's funny
I,
because if you asked me like 15 years ago or 20 years ago when Blu-rays were coming out, I
mm,
would have said, yeah, it's really good because I've got the DVD now, and then when I get the Blu-ray player, I've got that. But now, no one's going to use the DVD. You know, You might as well
No,
go in the bin. You just have the
no.
Blu-ray. And so I should feel the same. I should feel like the 4K is the only disc I care about. Who cares about the Blu-ray? But for some reason, I
Yeah.
still care about it.
I think a lot of people do, and I think I don't know whether it's a psychology thing about value for money type of
Yeah,
thing.
that
You're
makes
getting two
sense.
for one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I know with the way costs are that a 4K alone might cost $35, but if they add the blue, it might cost 45 in a standard release.
Yeah, it's a big difference.
It is a big difference. So there's some figuring out being done about what they do there
Yeah.
with certain distributors, I'll say, because some people, I mean, a lot of people say, well, if I want to watch a movie and my main TV is being used, I can grab the Blu-ray and go watch it down in the other room or something.
Sure.
I don't have that issue. I'm not sure. Obviously, some people do, so I don't know how big a problem that is. I mean, just pick another movie if that's the problem. If you've got that many, yeah, it's a really weird one. If it's going to raise the cost, I'm just give me the 4K.
Yeah, that's fair. If it was significantly cheaper, yep, I would do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as for those slip covers, I mean, I was talking about the steelbooks that have the J covers. I just take them off. They're in a drawer somewhere, the J covers, and I actually protect my steelbooks in like a pretty hard plastic case.
Oh, okay. So they don't get scratched.
Yeah, because they'll sit in, spine out, as you know, and they'll just.
I haven't thought of it. I don't own enough for that to be an issue.
Well,
That makes
didn't, and
sense.
I actually owned more steelbooks than I realized because I even have old X-Men Blu-rays on steelbook, which
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched them, honestly.
Sure.
I mean, I kind of died off the superhero stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone has.
Yeah.
Do you have any movies that you've bought on Blu-ray and then upgraded to 4K, but you never actually watched the Blu-ray? Like it's still sealed?
Too many. And when I send you a picture of my dupes, you'll probably see some.
That's funny.
Because, well, what also happens, and this is my luck, is that I'll buy a Blu-ray and literally within a month or two, I'm like, fucking assholes.
You know what
I
people say
literally just
on
got the
Reddit for that? When people they talk about that's the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a film being announced on 4K, the top comment is always, "I just bought that in blue,"
Yep.
and somebody will always say, "Thank you for your sacrifice," because that is how it feels for that person.
On my on the KerbSide Collection Instagram page the other week, I had Dusk Till Dawn. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. Like, bring out a damn 4K, and it was $14 on Amazon for the blue, and I'm like, because I only own it on iTunes, and it turns up, and even in my Instagram post, I'm like, a 4K is incoming. Trust me, because I've just gotten this Blu-ray. Yeah, so there's a few, but I don't always upgrade either. I don't always specifically upgrade. Like sometimes out of spite, I'm like, no, fuck that. I'm just staying with the blue.
Sure.
It probably might be a comedy that doesn't need to be upgraded.
Absolutely, that's true. Yeah, they definitely obviously like action films really do benefit the most, I think.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I'd have to have a look. I don't have an example off the top of my head what it's happened to other than From Dusk Till Dawn, but that doesn't have 4K yet. But it will. Give it by March next year. We'll get an announcement because it's not a Disney-owned title, so it's got to come.
Okay.
Probably Kino or Shout Factory or Scream Factory will do it or something.
Tarantino's getting a lot of love at the moment, so he's involved. So that might be related.
I listened to his Video Archives podcast. It's season 2 of that's just started actually, and he spoke on there. I'm sure it was on there. He doesn't really care for the 4K side of it.
Yeah,
he's happy with Blu-ray.
Yeah,
it's shot on film. He said it looks more than good. So yeah, but we're getting that big fat Pulp Fiction. Well, been and gone by the time this episode is, but in December.
30th anniversary.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool to be honest. Like the diorama of. I don't own Pulp Fiction on 4K. I just have a Blu-ray box set of Tarantino. So
yeah,
I could look into that.
Yep. Which is your favorite of Tarantino's films?
Oh, I love this question. Because I have a hot take on it. My favorite is Jackie Brown, but I strongly have the opinion, whatever your favorite Tarantino movie is, you're not wrong. Like you just, whatever it is. Every one of his movies is worthy of being your favorite movie of his.
Sure.
What's yours?
I'm thinking now. It's probably Bastard. Yeah, it's probably Bastards. I mean, that's also potentially because that was the first one that I saw at the cinema. And so that's a pretty big experience. Seeing a new Tarantino film is always like a big deal. No one's seen it yet. No one knows what's going to happen. Django was amazing for that same reason. Kill Bill 1's pretty cool.
Yeah, Kill Bill 1 is great.
Do you know if they're doing Kill Bill 1 and 2 is it a double or are they selling them individually?
I reckon they'll be individual because he was also talking about that whole bloody affair as well.
Is that just the two films stitched together?
Pretty much. I think there might be extra in there because he shows it at his theatre in LA, the New Bev.
I've been there.
Have you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And when me and my wife were on our honeymoon, and we wanted
Yeah.
to go over there, and I knew that he had a cinema, and I wanted to go. And he released Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and we went to a midnight
Yep.
screening.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's cool.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the only one of his movies I've seen in the cinema. I've
Yeah,
not
okay.
seen. Yeah.
There you go. Did you
Pulp
enjoy it?
Fiction. Oh, Once Upon a Time is probably my third favorite of his, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it's just grows in stature every time. I love it. I love it. I loved it at the time, and it's gotten better every other time I've seen it.
I need to watch it again. It didn't really resonate with me,
Okay.
but everyone that I speak to loves it. I'm sure I'm in the wrong. I just got to give it time.
Look, mate, movies deserve two or three chances. Absolutely, I think. Sometimes they hit you at the right time.
Yeah,
Sometimes they hit you at
absolutely.
the wrong time. It's very tonal and a mood-based thing sometimes with movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if we've really discussed this. Maybe we have, but what are your favorite films or genres? Horror, maybe? Or
Horror is definitely a favorite. I think my tastes are pretty conventional. You know, I'm a huge Spielberg fan. I love Nolan. Obviously Tarantino. The best film that I watched last year, which is one that I wasn't expecting, was a film from the early 80s called Dead and Buried, which I think it's recently gotten a 4K release as well, so I've got to pick that up. I've just got it on Blue. Yeah, it's an 80s horror film. It feels like it's a 50s film in terms of the style of it and
I like
the
that.
setting. But it's just, I don't know what there was. You know, as you said, some films just resonate with you. Some films just get you at the right time.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess it's a zombie film, I guess, kind of.
Oh, okay.
A little bit, yeah, it's a zombie film in a way. Yeah, recommended.
I think I remember seeing it vaguely. Was that a Screen Factory release, the 4K?
I think it is.
Yeah, I
think it
remember.
is.
The cover is in my mind at the moment.
Yeah.
I've never seen the film, so
Okay. Yeah, check it out.
yeah, I'll look it up. For sure. Any favorite actors or directors, or are you into that side of the film?
Yeah, I am.
I know you just
Although
said some directors, but
I think there's just certain actors that if you see them in something, or that they're going to be in something, you want to check it out. No one's coming to mind though. No
Okay.
one that wouldn't surprise you. You know, Brad Pitt's great always.
yeah.
I like Adam Driver.
Yep.
I think any comedies with Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler, you know, just pretty standard stuff. Nothing surprising really.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you?
Actors? Yeah, my two favorite actors are both dead. Jack Lemmon's probably my all-time favorite
Oh yeah,
actor.
he was in Some Like It Hot, wasn't he?
Some Like It Hot.
That's a
The
great
Apart-
movie.
Good. Well, that's an older film that you like. That's good. The Apartment's probably my favorite film of his.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, The Apartment's amazing. That was one of those films that hit me at the right time. I was watching that one night because I actually asked him, mate, tell me some old movies because I want to watch some old black and white stuff because he's just such a vibe with them. And he's like, that was the first one I watched, and I was like, that's an instant 5-star movie for me. Yeah, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh yeah,
and the guy is just probably the best that the craft's ever seen, I think.
What's your favorite of his?
Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, Jesus. Boogie Nights is springing to mind because Boogie Nights is a fantastic film, but his best performance. Wow. I mean, I thought Capote he deserved Oscars for other films other than Capote.
Yeah, okay.
Again, it's The Master. He's amazing in The Master. I watched a film of his last night called Happiness from 1998. Have you seen Happiness?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
That's disturbing. That's fucking disturbing. I loved it. It was such a great movie, but I'll probably never watch it again.
Yeah, okay.
It's just, it's really confronting and dark but funny, like the darkest comedy I've ever seen. Damn, man. I'd have to look at, again, my letterbox list of his. I should make a list for Hoffman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good list on your letterbox, actually. You could share it.
Yeah.
Your top 5 Hoffman performances.
Yeah, which got you. Give me a second. Sorry. Give me a second. I will jump in because I logged one last night. So I do tag him when I...
Sure. I'm just going through my IMDb while we're talking just to see films that I really loved that we haven't spoken about yet.
Okay. Look, he's great in Mission Impossible 3. I know that sounds a bit stupid, but he's a great villain. Before the Devil Knows You're Dead.
Yes.
His best performance is Doubt. For sure, it's Doubt.
Okay.
As the suspected pedo priest.
Yes.
Amazing in that film.
I'm trying to remember, did that one win an Oscar? I feel like it did.
I think the film did. He didn't. The film there was nominations at least. I'd have to look that up on IMDb because Letterboxd doesn't have that info. I mean, all three of those leads, like Amy Adams and Meryl Streep, are all insanely brilliant in that. 5 Oscar nominations.
Yeah, wow.
No wins. Yeah, acting nominees for all of those. Even Viola Davis, actually. So 4 acting noms and best writing for John Patrick Shanley, who wrote one of my all-time favourite underseen comedies, Joe versus the Volcano.
I feel like I've heard of it.
Oh, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan's the first film they were in together. Meg Ryan plays three different characters. Oh, mate,
Okay, I'll check it out.
it's very hard to come by. It's
You've
very
given me a big list of. I feel like everything you've said, I've been like, okay, I'll write that down. I'll write that down.
I'll have to.
That's okay. It's good.
Yeah. Joe vs. Volcano is well ahead of its time. Another dark comedy. Look, that's probably going to wrap us up, to be honest. I'm probably boring people now, just self-indulging. Mate,
Take
Jim.
it down.
No, yeah, well, there you go. There, I can switch off. Thanks for being on the show. Look, I really do appreciate your time. I'm glad you reached out, to be honest. It's been a really good chat. One of my favourites, to be honest.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Look, I had a lot of fun with this one. I hope you did as well.
Absolutely.
Is there anywhere you want to direct our listeners to? Anything that you do on the side?
Oh, I mentioned before, I have an Instagram page called Should I Watch This Gem, which is just little 2-sentence reviews of films. Yeah, it's just sort of like a silly thing that I do after I watch a movie. I just say whether or not you should watch it or not and give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yeah, that's about all, really.
You still active doing that?
What do you mean?
As in you still do, do those reviews now? Should I watch that Gem? Gem with a J, right?
I did it. Yeah, I saw Venom on the weekends. That was the last one.
Okay. Not seen a Venom movie.
Okay. Well, I saw it, so you don't have to.
Yeah, good. Good, thank you. Because thanks for your sacrifice.
That's okay. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's far from interesting me, to be honest. Yeah. I'll definitely hit you up on Instagram. That sounds good, to be honest. So, to our listeners, if you have enjoyed this episode, give us a follow at KerbSide Collections on Instagram. And if you are a collector and would like to be on the show, give me a DM, and I'll absolutely love to organise having you on the show and talk about your own collection. Until next time. Thanks for listening to KerbSide Collections.